All right. Ready to unlock the secrets of your subconscious?
Sounds like a plan.
We're diving deep into Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
A classic.
This book is packed with insights, and we're going to unpack some big ones.
What's striking is how Murphy goes beyond just acknowledging the subconscious, you know? He gives us this framework.
Like a user manual.
Exactly, like a user manual for understanding and using its power. It's incredible.
And he starts off strong,
Oh, yeah.
saying, your subconscious shapes your reality based on what you're thinking and believing.
Wow.
And if you learn to work with it,
Mm,
you can achieve, well, almost anything.
that's a bold statement.
Right. What are your initial thoughts on that?
Powerful concept for sure. And think about it. Our subconscious is this vast hidden world that's impacting everything.
Everything.
From our habits to our health, our whole well-being, you know? And Murphy's work is all about illuminating that hidden world and giving us the tools to consciously direct its influence.
I like that, giving us the tools.
Yeah.
One of the first things he does is break down this duality of mind idea,
Okay.
the conscious and subconscious.
Yeah.
And he uses this analogy of a ship's captain and crew.
That's a good one.
What do you make of it?
It's brilliant. It really shows the relationship between the two.
Yeah.
So the conscious mind, that's the captain, making decisions, setting the course.
Steering the ship.
But it's the subconscious, the crew,
Yeah.
that's carrying out those orders, turning thoughts and beliefs into action.
Okay.
And just like a good crew, the subconscious doesn't question or judge, it just acts.
So if the captain gives bad orders,
Uh-oh.
let's say based on, I don't know, fear or self-doubt, the crew's going to steer that ship right into a storm.
Yeah, precisely. And that's where things get interesting.
Okay.
Because Murphy talks about how the subconscious is incredibly receptive to suggestions. And not just from outside sources like advertising or other people's opinions, but even from our own internal dialogue, that constant chatter in our minds.
Right? He tells this great story about a stage artist
Yeah.
just crippled by stage fright.
Oh, I hate that feeling.
Totally convinced he was going to fail backstage.
Like stage is the worst.
He has this epiphany,
Oh,
and he starts talking directly to his subconscious,
interesting.
this time with authority, almost like he's commanding it to perform.
Wow.
And get this, he goes out and delivers a flawless performance.
Boy, what?
This story, it shows how we can reprogram our subconscious with conscious, authoritative commands to overcome even like deeply ingrained fears.
That's powerful stuff.
It's about choosing the thoughts we feed our subconscious, you know?
So we're not just passive recipients of our subconscious programming.
No, we have the power to rewrite the script.
No, that is empowering.
Right.
It suggests that we're not just victims of our past conditioning or limiting beliefs, you know? We can choose to cultivate thoughts and beliefs that actually support our goals and our aspirations,
Yeah.
shaping a more positive reality for ourselves.
Love that. He goes on to explore this idea of the miracle working power of the subconscious. And he tells this story about how he healed himself of a skin malignancy
Really?
using something he calls scientific prayer.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, it's important to understand that Murphy's concept of scientific prayer isn't tied to like any specific religion or dogma.
Okay.
It's about aligning the conscious and subconscious minds,
Okay.
creating a partnership
Working together.
to achieve a specific goal. The key ingredient is belief.
Belief, yeah. He stresses that desires are prayers, but they only become powerful when we really believe in them.
Right, like a deep conviction that what we desire isn't just possible, but already happening.
So it's about cultivating that unshakable faith that allows the subconscious to do its thing, whether it's healing, creating, or achieving a specific goal.
And the book is full of these stories, you know, you won't believe it till you see it kind of stories.
Absolutely. He talks about a singer who used positive affirmations to conquer her stage fright, and a woman who restored her lost memory through the same process.
That's amazing.
These stories, they're engaging, but they also illustrate the core principles he's laying out, you know.
And I appreciate that he doesn't just leave it there. He actually gives practical techniques for harnessing this subconscious power. So let's dive into those. What do you say?
Absolutely. Let's get practical.
One technique is visualization. Imagine creating vivid mental pictures of what you want.
Like making a movie in your mind.
He calls it the mental movie method.
Right, where you immerse yourself in the experience of your goals as if they're already happening.
What other techniques does he talk about?
Well, he talks about the sleeping technique, which uses the heightened activity of the subconscious during sleep.
Oh, interesting.
You basically plant suggestions into your subconscious just before you fall asleep, letting them take root while you rest.
Like setting intentions for your dreams.
Exactly.
How about the thank you technique?
This one's all about cultivating an attitude of gratitude and abundance, acting as if what you want is already yours.
So instead of saying, I wish I had more money, you'd say, thank you for my financial abundance.
Yeah, you're aligning your thoughts and feelings with the reality you want to create.
But how do we apply this to specific areas of our lives, like finances or relationships? I'm eager to explore that further.
Me too. Let's dig in.
Let's do it.
Welcome back. We're going even deeper into Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind.
Exploring how to use these principles for real change in our lives.
Absolutely.
We were just talking about visualization and affirmations to reprogram our subconscious.
Right.
But I'm curious, how does this apply to achieving specific goals?
Well, Murphy spends a lot of time on that question.
Yeah.
He argues that success in any area, finances, relationships, health, it all hinges on aligning our subconscious beliefs with what we consciously desire. He tells this captivating story about a man who really wanted to be a physician, but he didn't have the money.
Oh, yeah.
He was working as a cleaner in a doctor's office,
Yeah.
and he came up with this unique way to apply Murphy's principles.
What do you think he did?
I don't know. It sounds like he found a way to bridge the gap between where he was and where he wanted to be.
Yeah.
Did he use his surroundings to fuel his visualizations, maybe?
Exactly. He spent his days cleaning medical equipment, observing the doctors.
Wow.
All the while picturing himself in their shoes.
Interesting.
And every night, he would vividly imagine holding a medical diploma with his name on it.
So he was living as if, embodying the role of a doctor in his mind.
Even while doing a totally different job.
Right.
And the results were amazing.
I bet.
The doctor, impressed by his work ethic, saw his passion for medicine and offered to sponsor his training.
Wow.
Talk about the power of the subconscious.
That's a perfect example of what Murphy calls willing the means, focusing on the end goal and trusting the subconscious to figure out the how.
But it's not just about passively wishing, right?
No, not at all.
He emphasizes taking inspired action.
Right. In this case, the man's focus on his goal led him to opportunities he might have missed otherwise.
That's crucial.
It is. The subconscious doesn't work in isolation. It works with our conscious efforts.
Okay.
We provide the vision, and the subconscious guides us towards it, sometimes in surprising ways.
And that ties into his talk about getting guidance from the subconscious, right?
Yes.
He talks about quieting the conscious mind to let those intuitive insights come through.
He calls it entering the silence, creating space for the subconscious to speak its wisdom.
I like that.
That could be a sudden inspiration, a gut feeling, or even a dream. And he says it's important to trust those intuitive nudges, even if they don't make sense at first.
Yeah. He tells another great story about a man struggling to find his deceased father's will.
Oh.
After praying for guidance, he had this vivid dream that led him to a specific bank.
Okay.
And guess what? The will was in a safe deposit box at that very bank.
Amazing. These stories show how the subconscious can bypass our logic and offer solutions we'd never think of consciously.
But how do we cultivate this connection with our subconscious?
That's the question.
It's not always easy to quiet the mind and access those deeper levels of awareness.
Well, he offers several techniques to strengthen that connection: meditation, visualization, spending time in nature. And he emphasizes sleep.
Oh, sleep is so important.
It is. He describes it as a time for the subconscious to recharge and process information.
He even suggests that prayer can be like sleep for the conscious mind,
Interesting.
allowing the subconscious to work freely.
So it's about creating space for stillness, for reflection in our busy lives.
Yeah, and he warns against not getting enough sleep.
Oh, that's a big one.
He says it doesn't just impair our thinking, but also makes us more vulnerable to negative thoughts and emotions.
Right.
Which then get imprinted on the subconscious.
Creating a vicious cycle.
Yeah, it's a reminder to take care of our mental and emotional well-being.
Just as important as our physical health, they're all connected.
He dedicates a whole chapter to the subconscious and financial success,
Oh, yeah.
introducing this idea of wealth consciousness.
It's not about getting rich quick. It's about changing our subconscious beliefs about money from scarcity to abundance.
Right.
One technique he suggests is repeating affirmations like wealth or success, especially before bed, letting those ideas sink into the subconscious.
Interesting.
He says it's important to feel them, not just say them.
Yeah.
And he warns against what he calls signing blank checks, dwelling on negative thoughts like, I can't afford that, or there's never enough money.
Because those thoughts are like instructions to the subconscious.
Right. And then it manifests those limitations in our reality.
But how do we overcome those negative thought patterns that seem so ingrained?
He says we need to become aware of our self-talk, catch ourselves when we're being negative, and consciously replace those thoughts with positive affirmations.
So it's like retraining our minds to focus on abundance instead of lack.
Exactly. It takes effort, but it can be transformative.
And this principle of replacing negative thoughts with positive ones, that applies to all areas of life, right?
Absolutely. Not just money. It's about cultivating a more optimistic outlook overall.
He talks about using these principles to improve relationships, overcome fears, and even maintain youthfulness and vitality.
Yeah, he acknowledges that we all have mental blocks, those deep-seated beliefs that hold us back.
How do we approach those?
He suggests a 3-step process.
Okay.
First, relax mentally and physically.
Good.
Second, use affirmations or visualization to impress the desired outcome onto the subconscious.
Okay.
And third, believe that the change has already happened.
So it's combining intention with trust in the subconscious.
And he emphasizes forgiveness in this process.
Great.
He argues that holding on to resentment or anger towards ourselves or others creates a toxic environment that prevents growth. He sees forgiveness as a way to cleanse ourselves mentally and emotionally,
Releasing us from negativity.
so we can move forward with clarity and peace.
This really resonates with the idea that our inner world shapes our outer reality.
It does. By cultivating a more positive, forgiving internal landscape, we create the conditions for more positive experiences in our lives.
This has been such an insightful exploration.
It really has.
But before we wrap up, I'm curious to hear what's resonated most with you.
What stuck with me is the realization that we're not passive passengers in our lives.
Yeah.
We have so much more agency than we think.
Right.
By mastering our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, we can shape our reality, create a life that's more aligned with what we truly desire. It's powerful and hopeful.
I totally agree. It's like Murphy gave us a map to unlock a world of possibilities.
He did.
But like any powerful tool, mastering the subconscious mind takes practice and commitment.
And that's the challenge, to take this knowledge and use it,
Yeah.
to experiment, to cultivate a positive mindset, and to trust the incredible power within us.
Absolutely. So we encourage you to reflect on what spoke to you today.
Yeah.
What one technique or principle will you experiment with this week? Remember, your mind is a powerful instrument, and the possibilities for what you can achieve are limitless.
They really are.
Back for our final segment, still exploring the power of the subconscious mind.
We've covered a lot of ground.
Unpack some pretty profound concepts.
For sure.
Now, I think it's important to look at how these principles can improve our interactions and relationships with others.
Absolutely. Murphy goes beyond individual transformation.
Yeah.
He emphasizes how our subconscious affects our social sphere. He even dedicates a whole chapter to it.
Yeah, he talks about the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Right.
But he connects it to the subconscious.
It's not just about what we do, but what we think and feel about others, even if we don't say it out loud.
Interesting. What are your thoughts?
Well, think about it. Our subconscious is constantly sending out signals about our beliefs.
Okay.
And those beliefs shape how people respond to us.
Hmm.
If we're holding on to resentment, that negativity can unconsciously seep into our interactions.
That makes sense. This explains his focus on forgiveness.
Yes.
He says holding on to anger hurts us more than the person we're angry with.
It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die.
Wow, that's a powerful image.
It creates this toxicity inside that affects not just our mental health, but our relationships too.
He suggests practical techniques for forgiveness, like visualizing the person surrounded by love or genuinely wishing them well.
He says these actions help cleanse our inner space.
Okay, so what about dealing with difficult people?
Oh, we all have that.
People who trigger frustration or negativity. What does Murphy say about that?
He reminds us that challenging behavior often comes from a person's own internal struggles. He says to respond with compassion and understanding, recognizing that their actions might be fueled by their own unresolved pain.
He also warns against trying to control or change others.
Right. The only person we have power over is ourselves.
But here's the exciting part. By changing our own thoughts and beliefs,
Yeah.
we can create a ripple effect that influences the dynamics of our relationships.
That's the power of the subconscious.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Talk about happiness. How does Murphy view happiness?
He believes it's an internal state, not something you chase externally.
Mhm.
He suggests starting each day with positive affirmations, choosing to focus on joy, gratitude, and peace.
He tells this great story about a farmer who was known for being content.
Oh, I like that.
His secret, he blessed everything, his family, his crops, his animals, every morning and evening.
It's all about gratitude.
Right. Another key to happiness, according to Murphy, is overcoming fear,
Fear can be a big obstacle.
holding us back from our dreams.
Yeah.
What does he suggest we do about it?
He says face your fears head on, dismantle them by exposing yourself to them. He also recommends visualization, imagining yourself navigating those tough situations successfully.
Like a mental rehearsal.
Exactly. And using affirmations to reinforce your courage and strength.
He makes a distinction between normal fear, the kind that protects us,
Right.
and abnormal fear, the kind that's rooted in irrational beliefs or past trauma,
He says those irrational fears, we need to challenge them.
because they're based on distorted perceptions.
Yeah, he guides us to dismantle those fears by recognizing that they're not real.
Hmm.
They lose their power when we see them for what they are.
Now, one of the most inspiring chapters is about staying young in spirit.
This one's fascinating.
Murphy says our subconscious mind is ageless.
Wow.
It's our thoughts and beliefs about aging that create limitations.
So it's not about the number, it's about our mindset.
Exactly. He suggests replacing those limiting beliefs with affirmations of youthfulness, vitality, continuous growth.
It's never too late.
Right? He highlights people who achieve great things later in life.
Proving that our potential isn't tied to a certain age.
It's empowering. We have the power to choose how we age
Both physically and mentally.
by consciously choosing beliefs and practices that support well-being.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the power of the subconscious mind.
Truly illuminating.
What has resonated most deeply with you?
I think what stuck with me is this realization that we're not victims of our circumstances. We have the power to shape our reality,
It's a powerful message.
overcome challenges, create a life filled with joy, abundance, and purpose. It's incredibly hopeful.
Murphy gave us a map to a world of possibilities.
He did, but like any powerful tool, mastering the subconscious takes practice and commitment.
That's the challenge, to take what we've learned and apply it.
Experiment with the techniques. Cultivate a positive mindset. Trust the power within each of us.
Exactly.
So we encourage you to think about what resonated with you today.
Take action.
What one technique or principle will you try this week? Remember, your mind is powerful, and the possibilities are truly limitless.